Hey, how you doing? My name is Chris,
My name's Cameron.
and this is SolarEdge Night Mode, your after-hours happy hour for solar enthusiasts. And today we are doing something a little bit different because over the weekend I was at a family barbecue, and a friend of mine came up to me and said, "Hey, Chris, I saw your podcast."
Nice.
Which was really, really cool. Apparently, he found it through LinkedIn on the SolarEdge LinkedIn. But he's like, I didn't understand a thing you were saying because it was all too technical. And he's like, why don't you do something for us? And so we decided this week we're going to talk a little bit about finding an installer, which I think is really important.
That is a great segue. But before we get into it, first off,
yes.
what are you drinking?
Well, today I am drinking. I hopped on my bike and rode 4 miles in the dead heat of summer over to Urban Roots Brewery in Sacramento. And picked up some beers for us.
Thank you.
Picked up for myself, I picked up Bach, which is actually kind of a play on the Boss. I saw a red, white, and blue can, so I was like, I had to get it. And it's kind of cool. You got like the iconic, the Bruce Springsteen blue jeans rear end, but he's actually got like, those screaming chickens, one of those sitting in the back pocket of it. And it is a really nice and refreshing IPA.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And for me, you picked up this, it's called Life Adjacent. It's a bourbon barrel aged Scotch ale. So looking forward to this.
Yeah.
But I think we can't get much further without talking about that awesome mug.
Yes. Oh, what? This fine drinking vessel that we got right here. So we were actually out for my birthday, and we were killing a little bit of time before going over to the brewery, and you happened to pick this up for me, and this is actually a NASA-themed beer stein. So traditional beer stein, but you've got all kinds of details of NASA moon landers. I mean, even down to the flip top is the moon and then the lander right here. So thank you for that. It made me a very happy person on my birthday. It's a really cool gift.
You're very welcome. I think it is awesome. And I'm going to be frank here. I'm a little jealous of it. My drinking vessel is by no means anywhere as cool as that thing. So happy birthday. Cheers.
Yeah, cheers.
Prost.
Prost, yeah.
As you would say in German?
Mm-hmm. Okay. So we should always say, if you are drinking, drink responsibly, of course. And our wives are going to be picking us up later. What are they doing today?
I think they're doing archery.
Oh, yes, archery.
Yeah. Ashley has a recurve bow. So she's doing archery.
Yeah. My wife also has a recurve. We got one with like a takedown bow where you can swap out the arms, a 25 and a 35-pound arms.
Nice.
She's getting actually pretty good with it. One might say that she's getting a little bit arrogant.
Did you stay up all night writing that one?
Okay, maybe that wasn't the right target audience for this. But,
there's a lot of drawbacks in archery.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I'm glad they're picking us up. Let's dive into the meat and potatoes of why we're here today.
Yeah.
And it's talk about how to find a good installer.
Well, this is great because you can just go to solaredge.com/find-and-installer. And poof, you've got a list of all kinds of solar installers that are out there that install SolarEdge equipment. All right, episode's done.
That's a wrap.
That was great. All right. No. It is a great resource, but there's a lot that goes into finding a really good installer.
I'm gonna start off with saying yes, absolutely. Like that's a great resource, especially if you want SolarEdge equipment. That's a great resource for SolarEdge certified installers that we like to work with and use. So absolutely go there first. If you want some SolarEdge equipment, that's a great place to start.
Yeah. So really quick, I think it's really important to talk about like why it's important to find an installer for everyone in the industry. I think as a manufacturer, we want to see you have a quality install because it means better reputation for the manufacturer because there's not unnecessary replacement of equipment because I was looking at some of the statistics for optimizers and like 3/4 of the optimizers that we're getting to 2/3 on the regular are fully operational and just fine. And we've got just stacks of no fault found inverters that are fully functional that I've installed just for doing like small projects. But it's incredible. It really is key to find a good installer, because you want to have somebody that is going to be there for the lifetime of the product, and you want to make sure that that system is going to be working the entire time. And there's a lot of difference between installers as far as quality goes.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Like, so we'll go through the different levels of installers and like kind of different avenues that homeowners can take. But absolutely, I think it is, when you are looking for an installer, everyone has a horror story about going to some auto mechanic that maybe did them wrong.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't hold the manufacturer like, oh man, this auto mechanic really messed up my Ford. You wouldn't hold Ford responsible for those problems that that mechanic created. But for some reason, when that happens in the solar industry, that's who you hold responsible. Oh, it's SolarEdge's fault because this installer just didn't know what they were doing. Maybe weren't certified. Maybe didn't use the equipment before, just didn't know about it or how to use it. So I think there's a lot to say. Getting the right installer for you is definitely beneficial for not only SolarEdge but also for you as the homeowner.
Yeah, I spent some time in support, and you and I, we work in the support office here at SolarEdge, and so we hear some of the horror stories of some of the lower quality installers, and you really should be doing your research, just like buying a car. If you're spending, $10,000, $20,000 on something, you want to make sure that you're doing your research.
Yeah. So solar systems today, it's highly dependent upon your region and where you live. But I think solar systems today typically go for somewhere between $2 and $4 per watt DC. I've even seen some as high as $5 watt per DC, and it is also based on what type of financing you're doing, if you're doing self-financing or maybe you're getting a loan or a lease or whatever. So, I think we'll go into all of those details a little bit later.
Yeah, Morgan is saying, I'm loving the Stein. Yes, I am loving the Stein as well. Thank you very much for that gift, Cam.
The Stein is pretty awesome.
Oh no, I missed the beer descriptions. So yeah, I've got an IPA and you've got a
bourbon barrel aged Scotch ale, and I got to say, this thing kicks like a mule. It's 11.5%.
It's a good thing the ladies are coming to pick us up later. Thank you very much for that. All right.
I took a sip and I was like, whoa.
Start breathing fire. But they're both very, very good. They're beers from local brewery, Urban Roots here in Sacramento. It's awesome stuff. So getting back to the topic, there are three basic types of installers that are out there, right?
Yeah. So I think I like to categorize them as the self-installer, the DIYer, weekend warrior. I'm going to install my own solar system. Then you've got a more trad installer,
traditional installer.
Traditional installer where they'll buy through electrical distribution and install your system for you, and you have some type of workmanship contract with them. And then there is a solar lease, or what we call as a TPO, which is a third-party owned system. So you as the homeowner, instead of paying your utility company, will now pay this third-party owner that owns all the solar panels that are now on your roof. And the idea there is just to reduce your monthly payment. So maybe you pay $500 a month to the utility, and then the solar installer says, we'll sell you electricity, and it'll be a little bit cheaper than what you can get the utility. And as utility rates increase, we will not increase as much. And so you have year-over-year savings with a third-party third-party owned system, a lease system.
And the big advantage to working with one of those organizations, besides like the zero down, is the fact that, throughout the process, there are several milestones that installers have to hit, whether they're working for the company itself or if they're a subcontractor for the company. They actually have to go through and they have to hit all of these marks, and they have to document that process very, very thoroughly. So they are intent on making sure that everything gets done right and documented, which means you're going to get a good installation, and everything is going to be like pictures of everything is going to be done. Like every checkbox is going to be ticked before they get their check. So
that's even true for finance or loans, solar loans. They want to make sure the bank wants to make sure you're getting a great asset, right? And so same thing for those types of financing structures. Just like when maybe if you own your own home, your bank's not going to let you own a home without insurance, and they're not going to let you buy a home without a home inspection. And so kind of the same philosophy applies there, which is they are not going to let you install a system without knowing the installation is done correctly, without knowing that it's working and on and operable. So solar loans are also a great way to make sure that you're getting a good quality product.
100%. We should also state that is kind of the place where we see a little bit more of the scams happening. So make sure if you are going with a third-party operator or a lease, make sure you're going with a reputable company, because like any industry, there are ne'er-do-wells that are out there. So make sure you're doing your research when you're looking at a company. Many of them will have very, very long contracts. You want to make sure you read all of that. In addition to that, you want to make sure that there is a guarantee of production and that you are not paying for a system that's not producing. Right. For example, Sunrun will give you a refund or not charge you if they are not producing, which I think is fantastic.
That's right. And some type of workmanship warranty also is vastly important.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about...
Circle back to, should you self-install?
Should you self-install?
Yeah.
Okay. Should you self-install? Now, I'm going to say this very, very carefully. I do believe in right to repair and DIY and being self-sufficient.
Yep.
Those are core fundamentals that I believe in. I do believe I should have the right to work on my own house. Just because I think I have the right to do it doesn't mean I should do it.
That is very good. Yeah.
I may not know all of the codes and standards for carpentry. I have a lot of experience in electrical work and a lot of experience in working on my car and stuff like that, and even some experience in plumbing, but not all of the experience in plumbing, right? And so I will say, if you have those backgrounds, if you have like some type of trade background, or you are an experienced DIYer, you know what the code is, you're getting a permit is kind of like the big thing there, then yeah, I think a DIYer is okay. You can do a self-installation, getting the equipment. You can go through distribution. Some distributors won't sell to homeowners, but you can go to a second-party distribution online usually and get equipment that way. So should self-installers do it? I'm going to say yes, if they're qualified. I think that's the big word there.
That is the big thing. And I think one of the big misconceptions that people have, it's like, we've got a whole bunch of online training for SolarEdge, but our SolarEdge training is specifically to help you install our equipment and get it wired up and get it configured. It doesn't teach you all of that trade knowledge that's required to actually get there. It's like we're teaching maybe 5 to 10% of the total knowledge that you need as a trade person. I would say if you've got construction experience and you've got electrical experience, you'd be in a pretty good position. But if you're just trying to do this and you're, an office monkey like me,
weekend warrior.
Yeah, I'm a YouTube certified mechanic myself. I do believe in right to repair, but I also don't want to put people on a path to failure.
Yeah.
And that's the most important thing. And beyond that, it comes down to warranty as well. Yeah. Because most equipment manufacturers will not warrant the work if it's not done by a qualified person. And we're pretty flexible on that, but we do require that, you know the trade. Yeah. And unless you know the trade, I wouldn't do it, honestly.
So like, I think I've been a part of and witnessed a lot of your online trainings that you've done and reviewed a lot of them, and it's all great content. And you're right. We very much simplify things where it makes it look like it's plug and play. And that's with the fundamental understanding of, how do I do conductor sizing? How many conductors can I put in a conduit? So self-installers, again, yes, with an asterisk.
Yeah, I had one experience where we had a system owner or a self-installer who was trying to install the system, but didn't know the difference between a parallel and a series circuit, which was pretty terrifying, like one of the more fundamental understandings. And the person just expected support to walk them through the entire installation, and it's not something we can do.
Yeah.
Number one, we're working with somebody who's doing something that is inherently unsafe.
Yeah.
Because they're untrained to work safely. So yes, if you have the trade knowledge, yes, if you can work safely, yes, if you have the tools, which are expensive all by themselves. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So traditional installers, and this is where you see a lot more flexibility, because you can get the installer that you want, that installs the equipment that you like in the way that you want, in a location that you like. And yeah,
absolutely. So I have worked for traditional installers, mostly out of Scottsdale, Arizona. It was a fantastic company, knew the owners directly. At their height, I think there were 108 employees. And then like the markets changed in Arizona, as the solar coaster typically does. And they shrank back down to like maybe 20 people. And now they're back on the rise again. We'll see what the impact of the big, beautiful bill is. But I digress. I am a fan of the traditional installer method.
Yeah.
And that is, I want a service. I call a professional in that industry. So that's like a mechanic, a plumber, an electrician, a drywaller, a stucco guy, mason, whatever, carpenter, whatever it is. I call the professional in that industry. They will guide me through the best solution for my home. And then I may call a couple of installers and compare the quotes and the services and warranties that they offer, and then make my decision from there. And so that primarily relies on self-financing.
Yeah, that is a very, very big, important part. But the benefit is you own your system.
Yeah,
it's all yours. You own it. You don't have to worry about like, hey, if I move, is this contract going to transfer to the new owner?
Yeah,
none of that.
None of that. So like if you're using, like, I think you can still get a loan through a traditional installer. They still probably offer some type of loan service. They would have to be competitive in the market. So you can still get a solar loan, but again, you still own the asset, or you're paying money to own the asset, which is important.
Yeah. And your traditional installer will own the wiring, the work, the guarantee that everything is going to not leak on your roof.
Right. So,
and then the equipment, the warranty is the manufacturer is warranted by the manufacturer.
So what should you look out when you're looking for that traditional installer? What type of things should you consider?
Well, we can get into that, but there are several different avenues that you can find just to get to that point where you're finding an installer. You've got all kinds of different ways to even just start looking at different installers. I think the more I don't want to call it annoying. We had the episode on Solar Bros, and them coming knocking in like that high pressure sales type thing. So you've got somebody knocking on your door that says, "Hey, you'll never pay an electricity bill again." You've got that type of thing. You've got the guys sitting at kiosks at your big box store. And of course, you've got, like, if you go online, you've got those banners that say, "Never pay for solar, you'll never pay an electric bill again."
My YouTube ads are covered in those things.
You search for solar once, yeah. Those ones I typically try to avoid because those end up being a high pressure sales situation. I want to go through and shop around, and we should always state, and I'm going to say it many, many times, always get multiple quotes from multiple installers. 100%. So beyond that, you've got Googling. If you are Googling like find an solar installer near me, when you're doing that, make sure that you are looking for like that kind of gray, almost hidden text that says sponsored.
Yeah.
And that goes with like any solar review site as well. Many of those solar review sites will actually be skewed or produced by different folks. So kind of bear that in mind.
There's a couple of ways I think that you can go about it. Before we get into like how to find the best installer in your area, let's circle back to I think things that you should avoid when people are using buzzwords like, "No, you don't pay any money. This solar system is completely free." Like those are kind of scary types of situations. And absolutely, Chris, I think you're right, is get multiple quotes. Don't be afraid to say no. And I think many times people are polite and they always want to say yes. the best piece of advice one of my friends gave me when I was trying to buy a car, he's like, just walk away. Leave the dealership. They will come back to you.
Yeah.
just say no thanks and then leave. And they will call you again and they will offer you a better price. So the best thing you can do is take a big deep breath, step back and say no thank you, and then walk away, find another installer, find another quote, and compare those things. Check the workmanship warranty, not just the parts warranty. Like SolarEdge, we offer a 25-year warranty on our power optimizers, a standard 12-year warranty, expandable to 25-year warranty on our inverters. But make sure that you're not only looking at the parts warranty, but also the workmanship warranty. How long is the workmanship, the roof penetrations? How long is that warranted? Is it 3 months, 6 months, 12 months? What does that look like to you?
Well, let's stick with that red flags topic that you were talking about. What are your biggest red flags? For me, the big ones I look at for are high pressure sales.
Yep.
A false sense of urgency is the one that like really bugs me the most. Like, unless you do this right now, you're never going to. Yeah, this deal will only exist for.
To be fair, right now I think there is a big sense of urgency for
that is true.
Self-owned systems because of the big beautiful bill with the what they call Section 25D, basically sunsets the income tax credit that you can claim, the ITC.
Yeah,
and after the end of the year, so January 1. That ITC is gone for homeowners. It still will exist for third-party owners. But so I think right now we're in the 4-month countdown. I'm like looking at my calendar. It's August. 4-month countdown of really like, I got to get in. If I want to own the asset, I have to get it installed in the next 4 months.
Yeah, absolutely.
So false sense of urgency.
Right now, maybe. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Good counterpoint. Let's see. Another one that I get on the regular is people impersonating the utility company or saying that, oh yeah, we're working with the utility company. We work with, and they've got paper. Oh, can I see your bill and blah blah blah. And it's like, no. As soon as I hear that, it's like, oh, I'm sorry, my dog is on fire. I'll have to talk to you later. Close the door.
It's the when somebody knocks on your door and they're wearing like a high visibility vest and you're like, why are you wearing a high vis vest? Like, I know it's supposed to keep you safe, but you're just walking up to my door. What is the hazard here that you're guarding against? And so it's just a costume. That's all it is a costume. So those high vis vests, no, you don't need them.
It's like those YouTube videos where you have the high vis vest and a ladder. You can get into any building and just bypass security, and they'll just let you. And it's true, they do. Let's see, what else? Deal seems too good to be true.
Oh,
that one's like, you'll never pay an electricity bill again.
Yeah.
Or you're going to be making money off of this and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
It's like.
So if you own your own system, I think a good rule of thumb is look for a return on investment that's somewhere between 6 and 10 years.
Yeah.
That is kind of where I see it following. And again, it really depends on the region you live in, your utility rates, and what you're paying for electricity and the cost of the solar that's going in. Yeah. So everyone's a little bit different. Like if you're in Northern California and you're PG&E, Pacific Gas and Electric Utility, you're paying 80 cents per kilowatt hour on peak. Like, so your return on investment is a lot lower than if you live in Sacramento utility district.
Yeah, I'm paying like most of the year it's 11 cents a kilowatt hour on SMUD, and then right now it's like peak rates of 19 cents a kilowatt hour, which is it's I'm suffering.
And even 19 cents a kilowatt hour is well above the national average, which is like 11 cents a kilowatt hour. So I've seen places in like North Carolina or South Carolina, in Illinois or Idaho, that is like 7 cents, 10 cents a kilowatt hour. And it is just crazy low cost of energy. So again, those rates fluctuate for your return on investment, but you're absolutely right. If they say, oh, you'll make money year over year, that's not exactly how it works.
Yeah. Let's see here. My next one is quotes without site visits. Like you get a quote from a solar installer. They've never come to your house. They've never reviewed your bill with you. They've never looked at your electrical panel, looked around the house to make sure that like your house can even support solar.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of that. So it's funny because I deal a lot with design tools, and a lot of design tools are like, oh yeah, we can quote you from satellite imagery. And yeah, we can design systems via satellite imagery. We can put panels on your house. But I think you're right, Chris. It takes someone being there to check your service entrance, to look at your roof, to look at your trusses. Can your the weight of the solar panels be supported by the infrastructure in your home, right? Like it takes someone to be there to understand those things to make a good judgment on whether you're a good fit for solar. I know we're at the halfway mark.
Yeah.
We're past the halfway mark. Let's get a beer check-in.
Oh, beer check-in, yes.
How is it?
It is actually excellent. This is a really good beer. California IPAs tend to get like a reputation for being like super hoppy and super bitter. This one's got a lot of floral notes. It's just really relaxed. It's definitely some citrus flavor. It's really nice. And all the better because it's kept cold by this lovely stein.
That's awesome. Morgan did say that he loving the stein, and so did Swishy.
Nice.
So I'm going to be honest. This is a fantastic beer. It is very high octane, and I don't think I could do more than one. And even like this half a beer, I'm like, that's probably all I need. I'm good.
I'm feeling okay.
It does feel like I'm drinking 16 ounces or whatever the size of this is, 16 ounces, a pint of straight bourbon.
Well, I'm glad I didn't bring you the barley wine. I think that one was like 15.4%. It's a little over the top. Let's see here. Jake says, inflated future electricity cost estimates. And for a red flag.
Oh, yeah.
So like you're going to be paying 15 times what you're paying in electricity a year from now, blah, 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 like scare tactics.
Yeah. Oh, man. Again, it's sad but true. So I agree, scare tactics. I'm not a fan of scare tactics. But to be honest, like in California the last year, rates have gone up substantially in the last couple of years. And usually we say, oh, it's a 5%, maybe a 2% year over year, your electricity rates are going to go up. I think in California, we've seen rates go up like 15%, maybe even as high as 20%. And so regionally speaking, if you're in, let's say you're in Florida, your rates probably aren't increasing that much. If you're in Texas, your rates probably are not increasing that much. They're very stable. But if you're in California, Arizona, Colorado, your rates just kind of weirdly skyrocket. All right. So do you want to talk about TPOs and third-party owners?
Let's continue with the red flags because I got a couple more. Okay. Let's see here. Eric says not getting specific hardware and service details.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
So if they're not telling you what panels you're getting and the wattage of those panels, that's an important aspect. They may, like I've seen a lot of quotes like sneak in, oh, you're going to get a 410 watt REC module or equivalent.
Yeah.
And that could be very deceiving. Like,
that is, yeah.
Or equivalent is a weird word because maybe it's a 400 watt REC panel. Maybe it's a 420. And I know why they do it because they may not be able to get 410s anymore. And so they're just going to get the next size up, and let's say it's a 420 watt panel. I know why they do it, but it's very deceiving. You should know upfront as a homeowner, you should know exactly what's going on your roof.
Yeah.
I'm getting Hanwha Q-cell, domestic content, 400 watt panels with 126 half cut cells in 6 substrings. Like that is something you should know that's going on your roof. Maybe not,
absolutely.
Maybe not that nerdy if you're a homeowner. You should absolutely know the inverter that you're getting. I'm getting a SolarEdge inverter. I'm getting Enphase inverter. I'm getting Tesla inverter. Whatever it is, you should know absolutely the inverter you're getting, and then absolutely the battery you're getting.
Yeah,
I'm getting a Franklin battery. I'm getting a SolarEdge battery. Whatever it is, you should know the products that are going on your wall. Absolutely.
Yep. Let's see here. My fellow Chris here is saying free solar. Yeah.
Oh, cheers, Andy.
Oh, Cheers to you, Andy. And if you aren't using the chat, you can always send messages over to nightmode@solaredge.com. We're getting those there too. So feel free to email us, or if you have like questions or you want to show off the work that your installer has done, email us at nightmode@solaredge.com. We'll give them a shout out.
Oh, also, if there's other topics you want us to talk about,
oh yeah,
drop them in the comments. And,
absolutely,
we'll absolutely cover it.
Okay, so we talked
red flags. We're on red flags.
Do you have any more red flags?
Fly-by-night installers.
Oh, fly-by. Oh, that's a big one.
A company that doesn't maybe have any reviews. Like that's an important. Like
that's a big red flag.
Google your company. Like I am guilty of when I get a call from some random number. I'm usually guilty of Google searching that number. I was like, whose number is this? And so, like, if you get that call, you see that sales rep, and you can't find any footprint online about that company, that is a huge red flag. Oh, can we have the entire big, beautiful Bill's impact on solar? Yes.
We are talking about doing that, and that will probably be a dry episode when we do it. We actually have somebody who is a pro at all the ins and outs and is in touch with Washington.
Oh, no, that's
no.
That's Liz.
That is Liz. And she is amazing. And she has done a lot of work on behalf of the solar industry in Washington.
Yeah.
And she can come in and give us a little bit of detail. We were just kind of waiting for things to settle down a little bit because it's been tumultuous all year long.
Well, August 18th has a huge deadline. And if things get done and are signed off and in by August 18th, that sets the ramifications of 25D and safe harboring stuff. And so everyone's waiting until August 18th for that kind of that verbiage to be locked in. And so, yeah, we'll have Liz, who's our regulations officer. Yeah. So she lives in DC and is up on Capitol Hill and talking to legislators all day, every day about solar. So yeah, absolutely. We'll have her on.
Yeah. I think she, is taking a well-deserved break after a very long series of weeks. The other thing that we should state is we want to make sure that we have that fully prepared and fully written out because we don't want to be giving you any advice that is incorrect.
Right.
And we'll say it several times when we do that episode, you need to consult your own tax professional because everything has been in flux for a while and it's hard to keep everything straight. So we're going to go straight to the source, which is our wonderful Liz.
Liz Records.
Yep. Let's see here.
I think that was all the. Oh no, we had as is or used sales.
Oh, that's a good one. Okay, so funny story. When I first started working at SolarEdge, I was doing training and support and had a homeowner call in saying that none of our equipment was working. And none of our equipment was working. And started like giving me serial numbers. He was a self-installer.
Okay.
Ended up buying a bunch of equipment as is on eBay. And what I did was when I started looking up these serial numbers, I found out all of that equipment had previously been RMA'd, which is replaced by manufacturer. So all of that equipment should have been disposed of and wasn't, and one of their solar guys was reselling it on eBay.
Oh, no.
And so that homeowner, self-installer, paid, I don't know how much for all of that stuff and was basically out of all that money.
Oh, no.
The installer eventually lost his job and got blacklisted. I don't know if there was like any legal ramifications on that, but we immediately reached out to the solar installation company to let them know the situation because it was all coming from one company. But it was just one guy that was doing all of this nefarious stuff. So be very, very mindful before you buy anything that is used that it could have come off a previous home and been replaced because somebody, broke something up on the roof and that damaged the inverter or what have you.
Right.
I've seen nails go through wires.
That breaks my heart.
Yeah, I know.
I can't believe that guy did that. I saw also on the list was lack of responsiveness. And I got to say, the only thing I have not done in the solar industry is sales. I've done installation, O&M management, manufacturing. I've done it all. except for sales. But I've worked with very talented salespeople, and the number one thing that they do to keep business is that constant contact, right? Like, I want to make sure you know how your site visit went. Then we had the auditor come out, and then we're getting permit, and here's your permit pack, and you're now submitted for your permission to operate, or your interconnection application has gone through the utility, and now we're scheduling your installation because all your components and pieces are now at our warehouse, and here's your schedule, and here's your installation crew, and everything that I have seen with successful salespeople is they are constantly talking to their customers and updating them with everything that's going on. If you are calling your installer and it's crickets and they're not getting back to you, maybe try to get a different installer. Like, cancel your contract, say, hey, this is not going well. I want my money back. No one is keeping in touch with me, letting me know what's happening. And it's okay. Like, a couple days here and there, it takes me a while to sometimes respond to my emails or whatever. But if they're not giving you the updates, that is a huge red flag, I think, to me.
Absolutely. Shady. Yes.
Shady AF.
Okay. So let's spin this back to a little bit more positive. If you had to find a solar installer, knowing the things that you know now, what are the resources that you would go to?
All right. So if I know the equipment I want to use, every equipment manufacturer has a link on their website.
Yeah.
So let's say you want to paint your house, and you've decided, I want Sherwin-Williams paint, and you go to Sherwin-Williams website, they're going to say, yeah, here's our certified painters. SolarEdge does that. Every solar or manufacturer should have some type of working list, right? Next, you can go to your utility company. Most utility companies will give you a list that has their preferred installers that are active in your area, in their utility that they like to work with. That's a good option. Next, you can go to your local gov. Like, we can probably drop these in the description, but there's a California.gov website that has a list of installers that you can sort by zip code and find an installer in your area. And then lastly, of course, you can go to websites like Energy Save and Solar Reviews. They will you can get quotes and installers just by zip code. But for me, knowing everything that I know, I'm going to go to NABCEP.
NABCEP.org.
NABCEP. Yeah, it stands for the North American Board of Certified Energy Practitioners. And that, to me, is the best group of installers. Those are people that have been in the industry for years. They do it because we are trying to help the planet, and we want to help people help the planet. And that's why I like NABCEP. It's where the best go. So it's the only certification that solar installers have. If they have a NABCEP certification, they're usually a quality installer.
This is 100% true. If you go to the NABCEP website, you can find an installer directory or certified installer directory, and you can see what types of certifications they've got. You can search by zip code to find installers in your area and get links to their website. It is absolutely a fantastic website. There's certifications for sales, certifications for installation, all kinds of
design, everything. So
yeah, so definitely the best of the best is going to be at NABCEP, in my humble opinion.
Yeah. In my honest opinion.
I will say this for manufacturers' websites where they list off installers in your area type thing. Just be mindful. I know that we don't force, but we require installers to go through a certain amount of training before we'll even list them on the website. There are some manufacturers that, promote installers that only sell their equipment, which is kind of a double-edged sword. It means that, maybe they're not going to they could just be selling their equipment, might not be a quality installer, but certainly they do specialize in that one type of equipment. So it's a mixed bag. You gotta you can't just look at that website and say, okay, I'm going to go with this person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like going to I keep on using the mechanics. I don't know why today. Car stuff has been on my brain because I've been working on my Triumph a lot lately. And so I would say it's like going to a all-around mechanic, like, hey, I work on any car, versus I'm a Ford certified mechanic, right? Or I'm a Chevy certified mechanic. Like, I think that's the difference.
Yeah.
It's like, if you go to the manufacturer's website, they are certified. They probably know a lot about that product, and you are going to have more success if that's the product you want to use. They are not going to educate you in the benefits of any other products.
Actually saw a really cool guy that worked at Enphase as one of their trainers.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, this guy seems really cool. I was like seeing his comments on the YouTube, and he's just a super nice guy. I love the solar industry in general, but he's a really cool drummer. And I'm like, okay, this guy looks kind of cool. So I went to his LinkedIn off of his link tree, and it's like, oh, you can see he's got, Fronius, he's got all these different certifications with different installers. It's like, this LinkedIn is a great place to go to.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you see a lot of comments, kind of a double-edged sword, whether it's like Google or YouTube or whatever. Just understand, whenever you're seeing comments, people that have bad experiences tend to be very, 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 very vocal. And you don't hear as much of the good stuff as the bad stuff, because people really don't get on social media and go on tirades when they've had a good experience.
I try to do that. Every time I have a good experience, I try to do that.
Yeah.
Like, I need to drop a like here.
Yeah. My favorite experience is talking with friends. Like, if I have a friend that had a solar installation, I'm like, oh, so you went with X company. I mean, what was your experience like? What did you think? I mean, how much did you pay? Can you give me a little bit of information on this? I was thinking of going solar. And the thing about solar owners is they are solar enthusiasts.
Yeah.
And so you get them talking, and they will talk extensively about their experience and tell you everything in great detail. So if you see solar on like your neighbor's roof, hey,
it's a great way to meet your neighbor.
Absolutely. I was thinking of going solar.
It's an icebreaker.
Okay, so what are the questions that you want to ask? We'll wrap up with this. What are the questions you want to ask an installer once you finally do find the installer?
Did we talk about TPOs at all?
We did talk. We went through TPOs. We kind of hit TPOs first, and then circled back to.
Okay. So what was that question again? Sorry.
So what are the questions you want to ask an installer before you even like sign the contract? What are the things that you think are key?
Yeah.
For me, my first question is going to be: is the installer, or do they have offices or facilities near me?
Yeah.
And will I be able to get prompt service if something does happen? Because if, I, hire an installation company from the Bay Area, which is 2 hours from my house, maybe 3, 5, depending on traffic, will they actually be responsive if I have a problem with my system?
Yeah.
Whereas if they're right across town, oh yeah, we'll send a guy over.
Yeah, that's a good one. I was at an installer's shop doing some training on our next solution, our next gen product, and I was going through the highlights, and they told me that they only do a 1 hour travel time radius from their shop. That's their entire sales market, is 1 hour of travel time around their office. And their service manager told me point blank, I cannot adequately service any customers outside of this 1 hour radius. It becomes cost prohibitive, because if I'm paying you my O&M manager 1 hour of windshield time plus time on site plus 1 hour back, is like I start losing money, and truck rolls become too expensive. So it's okay if they have a couple of regional offices, like great, but that's a great one. Like, hey, how close are you to me, and what type of service do I expect? The thing that I look for is, how long have you been in business? Like, how long have you been around? Unfortunately, the solar market and solar installers have really come and gone. And I worked for an installer back in 2004 as my first solar job. Oh, no, 2003. 2004 was my first solar job, summer of 2004. And that company still exists. So they've been in business for 21 years now. I had to do the math real fast. 21 years now. That is a reputable company. They have been around. They've passed the test of time. good company. If they've only been around for 6 months, like sure, someone's got to cut their teeth somewhere, but really hold them to the fire and make sure that they're not a fly-by-night solar company. Because if they say, oh yeah, 25-year warranty with a 10-year workmanship warranty, what good is that workmanship warranty if they're gone in a year?
Because there is a lot of that in the industry. And I don't want to say it's because they're bad people or nefarious types. It's just the margins in the solar industry are really, really thin.
Yeah.
So
what's insane to me is how much we pay for solar acquisition. Like for someone to come to your house and sell you a product, the US pays more than any other country in the world. Like people in the US, like we on average pay like $3,000 to $5,000 for solar acquisition versus the rest of the world is like $300 to $500.
Yeah.
It's insane. Like a magnitude of 10x is insane to me. But
let's see here. Eric says, where's the Chris Cam? The Chris Cam is unfortunately sitting on my equipment shelf back at my home office because the Chris Cam got left back there when I was packing up all the gear because I was doing a shoot at a different location.
It's okay.
So you're not going to be able to play Did Chris Forget to Hit the Button and watch him panic and switch back to the studio cam. Sorry, guys. I know Eric's a friend of mine, and he was joking with me about that.
That's funny.
Yeah, so I'm sure he was probably like trying to count up the number of times I forgot to hit the button and switch back and forth.
It's a drinking game.
But he says, how long is the system warranted for? That's a good one.
Yeah, so there's two different components to a warranty, right? There's a equipment warranty, and that's like your solar panels are typically warranted between 20 and 25 years. Your optimizers, your inverters have warranties, your batteries have warranties, your controllers, your communication devices, they all have different warranties. So you should absolutely know your equipment warranties and the different warranties in that equipment, right? Then there's your workmanship warranty, and that's the warranty the installer gives you. I promise there's not going to be any roof leaks in 1 year or 2 years or 3 years or whatever their workmanship warranty is. I promise your solar panels are going to stay on the roof unless there's a force majeure, right? Where wind like rips panels off your roof because you had a tornado or something like that. So those are two very different warranties. And a workmanship warranty, I always look for at least a 1 year workmanship warranty.
Eric added, you should also ask if you sell your house, will the work warranty transfer over to the new owner?
I don't think it ever does. Yeah. I mean, if you have a strong contract, I don't think workmanship warranties do transfer. It's only for the original system owner.
Okay.
But if you have a TPO, if you have a third-party owner, you do have to transfer that contract to the new homeowner.
Yeah.
And so if you get a company like Sunrun who puts solar panels on your roof, you should absolutely, like most real estate agents know how that works, and they will help you transfer those contracts over. But yeah, you have to also say to the new owner, yep, I don't own the solar on my house. The Sunrun or the third-party owner owns it, and so you have to take on this contract.
Let's see here. My big one is, who do I call if there's a problem, and are there service fees? So if something goes wrong, what is my process? Who do I call first? And if I do call you and you have to come out, is there a service fee for doing diagnostics or whatever?
Who are you going to call? And you can't say Ghostbusters.
Absolutely not. I will say that there are some solar installers out there. If you are getting a quote from them, they will actually charge you for the quote. They'll charge you for the site visit. And it can be $50, it can be $100 that they'll charge you to come out, evaluate your site, go up into the attic, look at the rafters, check out your electrical panel, do all of the things. That is a thing that does happen. And I don't know if I agree with it, but at least they're upfront about it.
Yeah. And they'll probably say something, oh, and you'll get that $50 off towards your end.
And we'll waive
contract
it
if you go. That is a strategy, and it does cost money to send someone out and take a look. There's a company that does solar drones. I forget the name of the company, but basically you take a drone out and you fly the drone. It does the survey of the roof for you, and with very high resolution cameras. And that's a pretty cool company. So yeah, if they're not getting on the roof, if they're flying it with a drone, that's also fine. But getting on the roof does tell a lot.
Yeah.
Right. Like that. There's a lot of points for getting on the roof.
Let's see here. Will you give me a firm quote?
What do you mean firm quote?
Like a relatively, will you stand by this quote?
Change orders and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ah, man, that's a tough one. So yes, you should be locked into a contract with your quote, but things happen. You uncover weird things. And my in-laws actually went through this with their solar installer. So they live in LA and their utility is LADWP. And they're one of the people that live in a region where there's earthquakes. Okay. And so part of the new code requires them to add like an expansion joint for the service entrance. And they were really close to the gas meter. And so they were required to move the service entrance away from the gas meter.
Wow.
And so like the installer, like again, reputable installer, their installer didn't realize that about their home. And so they locked in the contract, and the installer was like, hey, not only do we have to upgrade your service panel, main service panel upgrade, but we also have to add this weird expansion joint. And that's like another thing that we have to do. And it's going to cost a little bit more money. And my in-laws worked with them. They did not pay the full cost plus profit. I think they paid just the cost of the equipment and maybe the labor to do it. The installer did not make any money on that upgrade because it was like a $5,000 adder. And the contract said, hey, yeah, signed it. We're going to put solar on your house. And there was no clause for change orders. So I'm going to say things do happen. Like there's weird things that you may not know about a specific house. And again, that's why you use certified installers. But still, weird things happen. And sometimes you do have to know. I have an old Zinsco panel and I have to get it replaced because it will burn down my house.
Yeah.
So there's weird things like that.
That does bring up the other unforeseen cost, and that is when you re-roof.
Oh yeah.
So if you get a solar system, that system's going to be up there for 10, 25 years. What happens if you have to get a new roof during that period? Always ask your installer, hey, if I do have a roofer come out, what is the process to have everything removed and then put back down?
I just did this with my brother. We installed a system on his house 15 years ago. Awesome system. We upgraded it to SolarEdge. And if I could go back and redo it, I think I wouldn't put the old panels back on his roof. Yeah, they're still working. Yes, there's photo degradation. I should have upgraded the panels and just taken off the old solar panels and added new solar panels. That's what I should have done. If I had to do it over again, that's what I would do, because really it was a whole lot of effort for almost no gain.
Absolutely. And panels, relatively inexpensive. It's the installation that's really the expensive part.
Yeah. And I mean, my brother's lucky I was doing the work for room and board.
Good buddy discounts.
And so, if I had to do it over again, I'd get a new panels for him.
All right. Well, that's bringing us to the end of the hour. Again, we went a little bit longer than we had originally anticipated, but that's fine because it's always fun to chat and see faces like Eric come back again. We're still working out the schedule for the next several episodes. We've got RE Plus coming up, so everything's kind of in flux. But we are looking at talking about solar regulations. We are looking at talking about your trip to Puerto Rico.
Yeah, Puerto Rico. The next generation product. I can't tell if we're going to do that before, during, or after RE Plus. So RE Plus is September. So I think we only have one more episode. No, I'm actually on. No, we're going to be in.
Oh, that's right.
Milpitas in 2 weeks from
now. That's right. Sales and Service Week.
So either we do an episode down there, which we can do.
Yeah, absolutely.
In fact, why don't we?
Yeah. We do have some of the new product there that we can show off.
That might be a good time to show off the new product. It'll be, we'll call it the Nexus teaser before RE Plus.
And we're also going to be doing a little session at one of our new installations, one of our beta installs for the new product up at our buddy Aaron's place.
Yeah. Okay.
Really excited about that. So all kinds of wonderful things coming up in the next several episodes. I am Chris.
My name's Cameron.
Stay sunny.
Stay optimized.
Thanks for joining us. Cheers.